Hello, Potato. Welcome to Just Add Water Wednesday. Now, when you think of ramen, or at least when I think of ramen, I think of names like Nissin, Top Ramen, Cup Noodle, Samyang, Asha. What I don't think of is General Mills. You know, the people that make Monster cereal and Cheerios. But they do seem to have thrown their hat into the ramen ring with something they at least claim as ramen. And if you don't think of General Mills, then you certainly don't think of Old El Paso, you know, the boxed taco sets. Yep, they have ramen now, or at least they call it ramen. I recently did try the Beef Birria Old El Paso ramen, and flavor was okay. It wasn't quite as good as the, I think, Maruchan one that I tried back during Soup March. But it was fine. It was okay. But the weird thing was the noodles. They were not anything that I would think of as ramen noodles. In fact, they look like egg noodles. They look like something you'd put in a pasta salad of some sort. They tasted fine. They actually, you know, they didn't get too mushy, which was good. But yeah, I mean, they weren't ramen. I mean, definitely was a learning experience. One thing we learned was chopsticks need not apply, which is why today we brought out the Happy Spoon to try our Old El Paso Fajita naturally flavored ramen noodles. Yeah. Now these ones do claim to be medium heat. The Beef Birria ones were not spicy, or at least when advertised. I think they had a little pepperiness to them. 220 calories per serving, 44% daily sodium. Now you may think, oh, that's not bad. That's less than 50% of daily sodium. That's pretty good for a ramen. And only 220 calories, and there's a reason for that. It's less noodles. So in here is not the noodle puck you would find in, say, a cup noodle, or even in like just normal packaged ramen where there's a brick of it. Nope, in here, we can take a look at it. In here, what we have is, like I said, what appears to be like egg noodles. Yeah. That comes off anyways. Yeah, so that's our ramen. And yeah. So yeah, no chopsticks. I don't imagine I could even if I wanted to eat this chopsticks, I don't think I could. So it is enriched wheat pasta with semolina wheat flour, all the usual stuff there. We have dehydrated tomatoes, onions, bell pepper, and garlic. So I'm not a big fan of bell pepper. Bell pepper is like one of those flavors that to me kind of like pickle really just infects an item and may render it largely inedible. So this may be a ramen that ends up straight in the trash club based solely on that. Salt, modified food starch. Modified food starch, spices including paprika, palm oil, sugar, chicken broth, yeast extract. Contains wheat ingredients. Contains bioengineered food ingredients. So real simple to make. You fill it with water to the line. Microwave for 2.5 minutes, and then let stand for 2 to 3 minutes. So let's get a little taste of the seasoning. It's down there at the bottom. So let's try what does fajita ramen seasoning taste like. Basically like taco seasoning. There's a little heat there, though. There's a little pepperiness. I approve. All right. Sweetness. I'm getting sweetness at the end. That feels kind of weird. Yeah, there's a little bit of heat. I do like the heat. It's not bad. I'm not getting like bell pepper, but that makes sense. I guess there's some dehydrated bell pepper in here. So yeah, I can see little green bits. That's probably the bell pepper. So that may rehydrate and ruin the party. So yeah, this is clearly a thing that probably shouldn't exist. Clearly and probably, I think, cancel each other out. But all the same, this probably should not exist. Old El Paso ramen, first of all, calling this ramen I think is wrong. If this is proper ramen, if there's this is a type of proper ramen, please let me know in the comments. But I feel this is a very late stage capitalism food. So let's go put some water in it, heat it up, come back, and subject myself to Old El Paso ramen noodles, fajita naturally flavored. Right back. And I am back now with our ramen. And doesn't it look tasty? Well, it's kind of like a cup of chili. So I'm sorry, I do need to stir it up again. I did let it sit for the 2 minutes in the microwave this time, actually about 2.5 minutes. So I think it's just to let the noodles, because they're such thick noodles, to let the noodles hydrate a bit more. Because they're thick noodles. All right, so it looks a little bit better now. We've stirred in all the powder. I did stir it before heating it up. Like it said, do that. So I freed all that powder up from the bottom of the cup to float to the top of the cup. And yeah, it's a very, very soupy ramen. I mean, that's fairly normal. I just have been kind of the last few years picking a lot of ramens that are more saucy than soupy. Well, let's try some of this broth, because I mean, the noodles are going to taste the same, I'm sure. It does smell very strongly of, I mean, to me, taco, but I'm not a big fajita person, so I mean, that could be exactly what fajitas smell like as well, and I wouldn't be 100% sure. So let's try a sip of that broth first. A little salty. A little taco-y, but with some extra stuff. Probably the bell pepper and such. But a little spice. It's a little peppery, but maybe a little bit more like on the tongue as well. Now that time I'm getting, if I let it like sit there for a second, I do get more, well, first of all, more of the heat, but I get more of like that greenness of the bell peppers, which yeah, I'm not a huge fan of here. So there's little bits of previously dehydrated bell pepper in here now. Not loving that. All right, well, let's try some with the noodles. Noodles are chewy. Noodles actually feel a little underdone, despite the fact that I cooked them to the temperature it said to. At the time it said to. I cooked them. I let them sit there for. It's been probably more like 4 minutes since the timer went off now. And the noodles actually are maybe a little underdone this time. Because last time the noodles were fine. I mean, other than being weirdly shaped, I didn't have any issues with like the doneness of this time. At least that first bite tasted a little underdone. I mean, I like al dente, but maybe not quite so much. Now that bite was better. Maybe just that one noodle somehow just hadn't soaked up properly. I like the heat level to this, but that's kind of where my likes end. The more I eat of it, the more I do taste the bell pepper. And again, not a huge fan of that. I flipped right on the spoon. That was nice. I was just kind of trying to get back in the cup. But yeah, the more I'm getting the bell pepper, the more of it I eat. It's like that flavor is building up in my mouth, and I don't like it. And then, other than just being weird representation of ramen noodles, the noodles are fine. But yeah, the flavor not so much. Oh, I've got a lot of stuff on this one. I think the beef birria had like little soy protein chunks, which I think were better than that. Looks like, God, it looks like black mushroom. It doesn't even look like bell pepper. What else was in this? Tomatoes, onion, bell pepper, and garlic. I guess they're bell pepper. Well, this is definitely not one I would get again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this or not. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to finish this, but it's not good. If it didn't have the bell pepper in there, it would be fine. The spice level's nice. The flavor, if it weren't more so, initially subtly, but growing the more I eat of it, dominated by the flavor of bell pepper. Even if it was more like onion and garlic forward, even just more tomato forward, that would be fine. With the bell pepper just infects. It infects, it gets in there. When you take it out, it doesn't go away because it taints everything it touches, kind of like pickles do. But I'm gonna say worse. I mean, to be fair, this is probably not a thing anybody should be eating. Old El Paso and ramen are not things that should go together. I still think if General Mills is going to make ramens, you need to make some just like genuinely weird ones. Like, I would try a Count Chocula ramen. It would be awful. Make no mistake. I understand that. It would not be good. But it couldn't be any worse than like the S'mores cup noodle. Could be interesting with these weird ramen noodles to have like a Count Chocula flavored one. Again, I would try it. I wouldn't be at all surprised if come the fall or latter half of the summer when the monster cereals come out, if we do see like some monster cereal ramens. Yeah, that is not as good as the Beef Birria, which was not as good flavor-wise as the Maruchan Beef Birria. Although the noodles were less overdone, but they also weren't really raw. They were this very much this like egg noodle looking thing. They're not egg noodles. They are wheat noodles. But yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. But I don't know that I'll be able to finish this. I may have to go make something else for lunch. Too bell peppery for my taste, which is a shame because otherwise it would be okay. If they had a version without the bell peppers, just with the spice and the heat level, I would be okay with it. But yeah, that bell pepper is just, it's taken over. It's taking over. It's leaving no prisoners behind. It is not our friend. Well, I've tried it. I've tried the 2 Old El Paso ramens that I've seen. If there are more, I guess I have to saddle on up and ride back into town and try them as well. But for now, we're going to leave this one here. And yeah, I'm going to go try to eat this. It's not great. It's not the worst ever. I'm just not 100% sure that it's fully edible for me. But what do you think? Have you tried Old El Paso ramens? What did you think of them? Let me know in the comments. But I do hope you found this video at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I do thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.